Thought the House Republicans' one big bill was bad? Just wait until you hear about the Senate's budget proposal. Welcome back to our current Watchdog series where we break down what the is going down in our government and explain what you can do about it as a Californian. The one big bill that the House Republicans passed in May and the Senate budget plan headed to the floor for a vote this week both proposed deep cuts to Medicaid and SNAP in order to extend $1 trillion in tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy. But the Senate budget bill goes even further by creating harsher work reporting requirements that make it harder to enroll and renew Medicaid coverage. House Republicans want to require people's ages 19 to 64 to document at least 80 hours of work each month to keep their Medicaid coverage, while exempting parents with dependent children. The Congressional Budget Office estimated that these work-related rules could cut 5.2 million adults or more from Medicaid. And public health researchers warn that they could lead to more than 18,000 people dying from preventable deaths each year. Senate Republicans are going even further with their budget plan by removing the exemption and requiring parents of children over 14 to document their work to keep their health care, putting roughly 160,000 to 380,000 more people at risk of losing health care. The Senate budget bill would also further threaten food assistance for veterans, unhoused people, youth aging out of foster care, and stay-at-home parents by requiring them to report at least 20 hours of work every week to stay eligible for SNAP, documentation that they were previously exempt from until 2030. Mind you, working-age veterans are already more likely to be in food-insecure households than working-age non-veterans, while paper requirements are most punitive for unhoused people, and only about half of youth who age out of foster care are employed at the age of 24. These paperwork requirements put these vulnerable groups at further risk of losing their food assistance. Senate Republicans are also going further than House Republicans in harming people granted humanitarian protections. Not only does it take away SNAP, Affordable Care Act assistance, Medicare, and federal student aid from immigrants with legal status, like refugees, people granted asylum, survivors of abuse and trafficking, but also end federal funding to help states provide Medicaid to these protected groups. Congress members will continue negotiations to pass a final budget plan by the 4th of July. Keep calling your House and Senate representatives and tell them to reject these cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. Both the House and the Senate budget plans will result in people being unable to afford groceries and going into medical debt. If you live in California, these 9 Republican representatives voted to pass the one big bill, and they're up for re-election in 2026, so let them know that you'll be holding them accountable at the ballot box.